to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, and then each month we share a portion of our vision, mission, and belief statements. And this month is vision and mission. Engaging, educating, empowering everyone every day. And the Bluefield School District engages our students in learning, educates our students in academic and life skills, empowers our students for the future, and embraces everyone's differences every day. And this month, no students of the month. Do we have any recognitions from the middle and high school?
Yeah, I got just a few. Okay, well, number one, we just talked about earlier, had the county fair there, second week of July. It's always a big thing, big to do, and we had several kids that were involved in multiple projects, either livestock, non-livestock. We did have the princess, Jade Meadis, was a princess for the fair. I've got just a few here that did some high honors there is what they did. I'm sure there are others as well. I've perused through the day to try to find some of those. But one, Miles Stump was round robin. He was the expert showman for the round robin, which is a good thing. He was also the reserve grand showmanship, I believe, in the meat goats. Allie Walls was a reserve grand champion showman in meat goats. Bracey Neal was a 3-time grand champion in swine. So, and I know there were probably others. I just couldn't find any today and looking through all that. But I want to congratulate all those for, and not just them, but just the other students. We have several 10-year members that are students here at Bluefield. So it's a great program to be a part of. This week, Ag Camp has been going on, and so Ms. Huffman's had her students, her FFA students, helping out with younger kids in the Ag Camp, and been taking part of that. Brett Sherrard was named 1A All-State in baseball, so congratulations to Brett. Dylan Warnick and Boone Holtzclaw were also honorable mention in All-State for 1A. And then I just wanted to throw out a recognition to our own Miss Fagan. She, I don't know if you guys knew this or not, but she received a Lilly grant through the state of Indiana this year. It was $15,000, and she and they went to Europe. They went to Ireland, Scotland, France, England, and of course they tie that into what they do. This is the second person back-to-back 2 years in a row. We've had a staff member that has won one of the Lilly scholarships, and previously that was Miss Evans, and she went last year. So hopefully we'll do a 3-peat next year because somebody will be part of it. But it's a short recognition.
Okay, all right. And do we have any public comments regarding agenda items? Seeing none. Agenda item 4A, the meeting minutes from the May 25th, 2023 executive session. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll move we approve.
And do I have a second?
I'll second.
All right. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor? All right, thank you. And then we have the meeting minutes from the June 29th, 2023 regular session. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make the motion.
All right, and a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, any questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor? All right, thank you. And now the meeting minutes for the July 6th, 2023 special session. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make the motion.
All right, thank you. And a second?
I'll second.
All right, all in favor?
Yes.
And then the meeting minutes for the July 6th, 2023 executive session. Do I have a motion to approve?
My motion that we approve.
All right, and a second, please.
I'll second.
All right, all in favor? All right, thank you. And then now for the treasurer's report. Do I have a motion to approve there?
I'll make a motion to approve.
All right, and a second?
I'll second.
All in favor? All right, thank you. And then now personnel. Do I have a motion to, excuse me, a motion to approve?
My motion that we approve.
All right, and a second?
I'll second.
All right, and any questions or comments there? Seeing none, all in favor? All right, now that it's official, Mr. Dean, would you like to introduce one of your new hires that actually is in attendance this evening?
Yeah, absolutely. Madison Klein. Madison is right here to my right, and so we're very excited and fortunate to have Madison join our staff here at Bloomfield. Looking forward to a great year. She was with us during the school year as a student teacher in our social studies department, and she is going to be taking over Mr. Von Allman, and she'll be handling world history, government, maybe seventh grade social studies there, but again, we're excited and really fortunate and happy that Madison doing it. Did a great job as a student teacher. She got a lot of great, whenever I talk to somebody about Madison, whether it was a student or, somebody that she'd worked with either here at Bloomfield or in the past, was always raving about her initiative, her collegiality, her collaboration, and just her overall attitude. Well, so we're excited.
Congratulations and welcome to Bloomfield. All right, also donations. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion.
And a second?
I'll second it.
All right, any comments or questions? Seeing none, all in favor? All right, and we'd like to thank Graves Construction Services for a donation to the girls' basketball program. And now fundraiser request. Looks like we have 7, 8 different ones. Do I have a motion to approve? And do I have a second?
I'll second.
All right, any comments or questions? Seeing none, all in favor? All right, thank you. Now on to other business. The latchkey program positions. Would you like to elaborate on that, Mr. Fennery?
Sure. We had a LIFT grant in the past, and that grant has been exhausted. And so in order to be in compliance by offering a latchkey program after school, what I'm asking for is approval to create up to 2 new positions to be able to serve the families who want their students to stay after. There will be a small cost associated with it. As far as salaries, I put in there as recommended by the superintendent. If they're current employees, then it'll be their current hourly rate adding to it. So that's why this program why I'm asking for approval, is because that grant that we had before for the after-school program is no longer available.
What do the numbers look like in that program? Is it something that's growing?
With the grant, it was free and there was transportation. Those 2 things won't happen with this. So the numbers, last I heard, it was like maybe around 50. Will that change when it's not free? I mean, it's going to be a minimal cost, but, and then also not providing the transportation, that's what it is, just providing a service to parents be able to pick up their kids 2 hours later that are working, and can't be there at 3 or can't be at home when the bus gets there. So while the numbers were 50, I didn't feel like I could send out anything until next week to let parents know about this change. So we'll still offer it if you guys approve, but it'll just be slight change for parents. Then we'll know more about the numbers. But that's also why I said up to 2 positions. If we only have 10 kids that are shown, then
Right.
one would be enough.
So does that take the place of the CCLC program that's been,
That's what was funded by the grant,
and
yes.
the grant was, like the state did away with it, or we just didn't apply for it?
It was not applied for.
Does it come around annually?
From what I understand, that was a 3-year grant.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure if it does, but I am interested in applying for it again when it does come open. But it was not applied for.
Do I have a motion to approve?
One more question on that. When was the deadline to apply for that grant, you know?
I don't, but I want to say it was like March. I know the deadline was before I showed up.
Yeah.
So but I don't know the answer.
Right.
And part of not applying may have been that we no longer qualified. That could have been part of it. I'm not sure.
Who are we trying to be compliant with? Who requires this data?
Offering the latchkey.
Mhm.
So schools are supposed to offer after school care because most schools end before a lot of people get off work.
Mhm.
So it's trying to be in compliance there.
Any additional comment or question? All right, do I have a motion to approve?
I'll move we approve.
And do I have a second?
I'll second. So awkward.
All right, all in favor? All right, and all opposed? All right, thank you. And now, filling of open positions. This is fairly regular at our July meeting prior to the school. Is there any other additional comments or?
Hopefully we don't need this
Mhm.
throughout the year. Hopefully everybody stays all year, but it's always a possibility.
Okay, any questions or comments? All right, seeing none, do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion.
And do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor? All right, thank you. And now, a request for approval of school meal prices. And is there any additional comments or anything on that you'd like to add or just?
Sarah's here.
Yeah.
Not put her on the spot. Ms. Helms works with the state on setting these prices. The state has guidelines on what the prices can be. This is also part of how their whole funding system works. But she goes through that process and this is her recommendation and I'm supporting it.
Okay. All right, do we have any other questions or comments?
Is this something that, as you're, I know you kind of just got thrown into your role, but as you're learning and stuff like that, is there grants and things like that we might seek out to lower that to get? I know that whenever COVID was going on and we had federal money coming in to cover, that there was a lot more people that utilized the cafeteria just because it was there and it was handy.
It was free.
Yeah, it was free. Who doesn't like that, But is there things like that out there that we can pursue moving forward?
Right now, because like you said, I'm still learning. but-
I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
Right, but
I
I'm
just meant
saying,
it.
like, to keep everybody happy with it, they can say the same, the state will take that. And we also have to follow them for a certain percentage of, like, student count and
Yeah.
food use, things like that. So I don't want to rock the boat.
I will say she did get that grant a month or two ago. What was it? Was it just over 30,000?
For the hood.
Yeah.
Yeah, until, that could take a while, but I put in for that, and still got it.
Yeah, we got it. So it's not on the food prices, but I know she's worked on a grant before and been successful. So,
All right.
so if they're out there and we see them, then we'll work on it.
Keep up the good work.
All right, any other questions or comments? All right, seeing none, do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve.
All right, and a second?
I'll second.
All right, all in favor? All right, thank you. And then the request for approval of adult meals. Any questions or comments there? Seeing none, do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve.
And a second, please.
I'll second.
All right, thank you. All in favor? All right, thank you. And then damage to curricular materials fee. And is there any additional comments you'd like to make there?
I did not find anywhere where we had everything listed out. And I thought this would be good information to have the board approve and list out, just to be consistent with any type of damaged or lost. So, just trying to write it out and have you guys approve it so that we can be consistent and upfront with the cost. So that's why you're seeing it now and haven't before.
Any additional questions or comments?
How have we handled this in the past?
There's been charges, but it just wasn't, it was,
Consistent?
maybe it was consistent, but it just wasn't board approved on what the charges were. Now part of it is the Chromebook, part of textbook fees that went away.
Right.
Chromebook insurance is going to be optional. So if you don't choose to take that insurance versus if you do choose to take it, is going to be, a difference there.
Other question I had, so when the textbooks were returned at the end of the last school year, and then they're gonna be redistributed this year, were they gone through and checked to see if there was pages removed or torn or any of those kinds of things from the time we got them back last year to being redistributed?
That I would say that's a part of the process every year, but we also have quite a few actual less textbooks. As far as the number, most of the textbooks are online now. We do still have some, but Mr. Dean, is that
Yeah,
something that?
yes, the teachers, they do a quick inventory when they collect the books, and then when they return them to Janice, if there's any that are flagged for Janice sees, she works on repairing or if needed.
Any other additional comments or questions?
I guess I have one question. So if they do the electric device insurance, does that mean you don't have to pay anything if your device gets damaged? Or
So,
it says it covers accidental damage, fire, vandalism. So I mean, if it's
Right.
in a fire, that would be the full replacement cost, obviously. So I mean, do they have to pay that still, or is it covered?
on the insurance, I think it's covered from, I don't have
I
it,
think it is covered,
I don't have it here, but I thought for sure that was covered.
but are they still gonna have the opportunity to buy that insurance if they don't have to pay for?
So we have a date that they have to buy the insurance by. Is that what you're asking?
I guess so.
Like
So-
if December 1st, they do the damage, they can't buy the insurance December 2nd. I can't remember the date, but it's pretty early in the school year that choose to buy this insurance or not.
All right. Any
I know we're asking you questions where you were here last year.
It's all right. I like pressure.
All right, any other additional questions or comments? All right, seeing none, do I have a motion to approve?
I'll motion we,
And do I have a second?
A second.
All in favor? All right, thank you. And now, NDOT partial acquisition and improvement of school property. So, had you been in contact with them much, and
Yeah.
I don't know, was there a timeline in here? or-
There was a 30-day and a 90-day timeline, but basically what is being requested now, we went through this before down there at the South Complex. There was a culvert that they were getting permission from right away to fix some culvert. Well, that's the same thing for this, just a little bit farther down. So Matt Bale said he knew it was coming at some point. And so now it's here. I went and looked at it. It's about as far south as you can see from the highway. Like if you pull into the entrance and look to your right, there's an area that we don't use. And that's where that culvert's at, because it's on 231. So it's not really going to be, it's not going to prohibit us from doing anything out there that we do. So it really is just working with them to allow them to fixed with AC. And they're actually throwing, some money at us for it. So, but yeah, it's that culvert as you're going south on 231, right there. So it's not even anywhere close to the cross-country start because it's on the road.
Do I have any other questions or comments? All right, seeing none, do I have a motion to approve?
I'll motion we approve.
All right, do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All right, all in favor? All right, thank you. And now the 2023-2024 middle and high school student handbook. And do I have any questions or comments there?
I can mention
Oh,
that Kayla found something earlier in the week that needed updated. So it's Mr. Dean worked on it and got it updated. So now what you see addresses what I think was an oversight or mistake that Kayla found. So thanks for reading through it carefully.
All right. Any additional questions or comments? All right, seeing none, do I have a motion to approve?
I'll motion we approve.
And do I have a second?
I'll second.
All right, all in favor? All right, thank you. And then now for the Neola board policy updates, the first reading. I know that was a lot of pages because I tried to skim through most of them myself. So this is just first reading, but do we have any questions or comments at this point? All right, seeing none, we'll see this again for a second reading next month. And then now for the sports medicine and athletic support services agreement with the Greene County General Hospital. This was on the agenda, and this week we had a concern brought to the superintendent and the board, and because of that concern, in the last hour and a half, we have another proposal. So wanting to see what the board wanted to do. Do we want to continue with this recommendation, or would we like to table this recommendation at this moment and have Dr. Van Der Ray come back with more research and an either continued recommendation or a new recommendation for us?
If we table, is it going to have adverse effects on student athletes that are about to begin practice?
Well, practice starts Monday.
That's why.
And so now part of this, part of the contract in front of you, it doesn't take into account being at every single practice. It's when, when the competition starts. So if we do a quick turnaround, it might not have much of an adverse effect, but starting Monday, I think there is a negative consequence if we don't have something lined up and worked out. Now, part of that is they did not send the contract until the end of last week. So, we got it the day that we were preparing the board agenda to send to you guys. I don't like working on that type of timetable that they put us in. But to answer your question, I think it could have a negative impact.
But none of the events that were included practices. So it's not like our contests don't start next week, correct? So if we
No.
did, okay.
I personally would like to table it because I've not had a chance to look at anything on the new proposal that was just sent out this evening.
I agree.
I agree. I make a motion that we table.
I'll second it.
All in favor? All right, thank you. And now for the superintendent's report.
But there was just a few things I wanted to bring up. First of all, if you walked into the school, the custodians have done an awesome job this whole summer preparing. A lot of times it goes unnoticed because everybody walks in the school and just expects it to be really clean, but they're waxing floors. That takes 3 days. They're doing a deep clean of all the classrooms, and it's just impressive seeing the work ethic and all that has been accomplished by the custodial staff. So I just wanted to publicly thank them. I'm on a lot of email groups with superintendents, and I go to a lot of meetings with other superintendents. And one of the common themes in July is how many openings do you have right now? And Mr. Dean and Mr. Riggleman have worked really hard to not only fill all of our teaching positions, but fill them with quality candidates like Madison being here. So I'm very excited about the work that they've done to ensure our students have quality educators in front of them. And that's not the case for a lot of schools. So I'm proud of all the effort that they put in. And I did let you guys know, since our last board meeting, I've been able to turn in 2 grants. One's the Safe Schools Grant. And we've requested $50,000 in the past. We're requesting $100,000 this year. And then I also turned in the Bipartisan Safer Communities Act Stronger Connections Grant, which the goal of that grant, if we get it, is to be able to add a social worker. It is a very highly competitive grant where there's not going to be a lot of awards. So we did our absolute best to get it, and I'm hoping that next month I can come back with good news. If not, we'll try and figure out a different direction there. But
If not, we just won't hear about it.
we can go that route too. I cannot bring it up, but yeah. So I just wanted to bring up those things.
Okay, thank you. And do we have any board member comments and items for future agendas? All right, well, seeing none, our future meetings, our regular scheduled board meeting, August the 31st and September the 28th here in the library. So this meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much. All right. Here, Dan, you can sign first then.
3 miles.
I would like to say is the future or lack thereof driver's ed. I just need direction from the board.